I'm Zoe Delahunty-Light, and I've spent over 70 hours with Horizon Forbidden West. Safe to say, it's consumed me, and although I finished the main quest, I've still not stopped playing it. As a Horizon Zero Dawn fiend, I know what I'm talking about, and you should trust me when I say that Horizon Forbidden West is a must-buy for the PS5. But I know that's not enough for you folks, and I'm impatient, so enough for this introduction. Here's my spoiler-free Horizon Forbidden West review. Aloy is brave, intelligent, compassionate, and deeply flawed. Zero Dawn gave us enough time with Aloy and her feelings, and now it's time to do something uncomfortable. Reflect on how she's hurt others. Aloy's reluctance to ask for help, lone wolf attitude, and constantly trying to live up to Elizabeth Sobek's example has hurt those who care about her most, because when the fighting is done, or when Aloy can't do things alone, what happens then? Talana and Aloy get along swell because fighting side by side is one of the things that bonds Aloy with someone. Similarly, Rost's love for Aloy was found in his tireless protection and the careful lessons he taught her. How does Aloy show love though? Horizon Forbidden West forces us to see Aloy's ugly side. As you might have gathered from that tirade, although she's not perfect, Aloy has blossomed into a complex character, and so has the game. Zero Dawn was consumed with unravelling the secrets of the past, but Forbidden West is about the future and Aloy's place in it. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of the gameplay itself, first I want to commend Guerrilla for recognising what a vast difference customization options make in terms of UI. I played Horizon Forbidden West on normal difficulty on the PS5, in performance mode rather than resolution mode, and in exploration mode. This means I'm not bombarded with quest waypoints and reminders, which is what you'll get in guided mode, and I could lessen the immersion-breaking interruptions even more than that. I turned off the combat ticker, edited the individual sounds of machines and whatnot in the settings, and changed the sound to midnight mode to help with my sensory needs. The accessibility options are vast too. Talking about settings isn't the most exciting thing, but if you're like me and get headaches from the repeated high-pitched sound of the focus powering up, they make Horizon Forbidden West so much more welcoming. It feels weird to describe a game as understanding, but damn it, that's how I feel. Once I fiddled with the settings, let me tell you that 70 hours was enough for me to finish the main questline, do a bunch of upgrades for my gear, and round off a handful of side quests that I was overleveled for. I still have tons to do. Errands, more side quests, races, ruins, collectibles, salvage contracts, rebel camps, 2 categories of activities which I somehow haven't even discovered yet, and much more which I won't spoil here. Horizon Forbidden West is full to the brim with things to do, but avoids feeling crowded as you can wander through the wilds without being bombarded with quest reminders and the like. If you do want to tick off the side quests, you'll find yourself being ferried all across the map, and holy crap, those load times are quick. Like, oh my god, it's been maybe 4 seconds and I'm already on the other side of the map. Quick. Horizon Zero Dawn's load times were quite painful, so it just goes to show how much heavy lifting the PS5 is doing to load in completely different biomes, machines, and fauna so speedily that I don't even have time to doom scroll. Okay, let's talk about the controls. Considering there are 5 or so significant new abilities Aloy has that you're going to be using a lot, the new controls that come with them aren't fiddly in the slightest. Effortless is the best way to describe how it feels to navigate the world. Honestly, it's a testament to Guerrilla that it included all these new features. The Pullcaster and its double function, special attacks, Valor Surges, the shield wing, yet none of it feels cumbersome. Caught up in that whirl of streamlining is the focus. Whereas in Zero Dawn you had to bring up the magenta interface to use it at all, in Forbidden West you can quickly scope out your surroundings with a focus pulse, which marks useful resources and nearby loot. Bringing up the full focus interface lets you analyse and tag machines and machine parts, see tracks, all the usual stuff. Having a quicker focus option makes a world of difference when all I want to do is quickly loot after a battle and move on rather than walking slowly in full focus mode. And while I'm here, let me just mention the climbing. Instead of those ugly yellow handholds that violated the scenery in Zero Dawn, your focus now picks out climbable surfaces, topography style. There's way more to climb too. I adore it. My Aloy just can't get enough of getting up high, and with the shield wing, I don't even break her knees on the way back down. A significant portion of those new abilities I mention are obviously found in the skill tree, and you'll have your hands on them quicker than you might think, as Forbidden West is mighty generous with its XP and skill points, the latter of which you can get from side quests as well as levelling up. I contemplated switching the difficulty to hard because I found myself easily overleveled for the main questline. And even if you're not into that, what this generous XP skill point ethos does mean is that you can play with these new abilities pretty quickly and therefore start customizing your Aloy immediately, moulding her from the 6 skill trees: Warrior, Trapper, Hunter, Survivor, Infiltrator, and Machine Master. Infiltrator is the stealth build, and I immediately gravitated towards it. However, the trees all complement each other fairly well, while also making it clear you don't have to be sneaky if you're more inclined towards full throttle melee violence, or prefer to use traps and overriding machines if you want to watch from afar as that violence ignites. In the overwhelming amount of cases, that violence will be dealt towards the machines in Forbidden West. Their animations are stunning, fluid, artificial, muscle-rippling beauty. Crucially, Guerrilla has zeroed in on what makes Horizon combat special. It's not about dealing damage, it's about dealing the right kind of damage in the right spot. Each machine telegraphs its attacks, giving you time to respond, and as a result, combat feels exquisite and fluid as long as you pay attention. The more powerful weapons like the sharpshooter bow have been fairly compensated this time around, with it taking much longer to ready and draw an arrow and deal an extra damaging shot. In Zero Dawn, the sharpshooter bow was my mainstay, but now that it takes longer to draw and aim, I just couldn't do that anymore. So I was forced to broaden my horizons, pun not intended I promise, because the hunter bow is a decent all-rounder, the warrior bow is super fast yet very short range, and the sharpshooter bow is best for my beloved sniping. Each weapon is tailored to a specific function this time around, so you do need to switch between them as one size does not fit all. As Guerrilla intended, I suspect, rather than allowing me to rely on one single weapon. This is the thing that everyone's been talking about, even from the trailers alone. The character animations are unrecognisable in comparison to Zero Dawn. Erend and Val in particular have the facial animations down to a T, with the Decima engine showing why it's one of the best ones around. This time I can actually pick up on the nuances in expressions, and along with this new refined Decima technology comes a story that I truly could not predict. Guerrilla wasn't kidding when it said you have no idea what's going to happen next. For me, Carrie Ann Moss as Tilda and John Hopkins as Erend are the standout performances. The stuff they communicate through their delivery is astonishing. Forbidden West cemented that Erend is a complete sweetheart too. I love that melancholy, flawed, and my god, very loud man so much. Not only is the main quest ambitious, but the side quests too are weightier than in Zero Dawn. As I mentioned before, the story explores Aloy's flaws and her slowly learning what friendship is. However, I'm not going to elaborate too much on that as I don't want to spoil anything. I do have my issues with the story though. The third act feels rushed and kinda comes out of nowhere, with Regala being criminally underutilised as a character. To me, it feels like Guerrilla paced the first 2 acts really well, and then realised how long the main quest would be if the third act got the same careful, considered development, so they just kind of throw you at it. It's a shame, but it doesn't ruin the game for me. The main quest will take you all around the map, and when it comes to the setting, Guerrilla took the most interesting bits of Zero Dawn and said fuck it, let's go for it. Ruins, lost technology, holograms, exploring lost bunkers, learning about tribal culture, all of the elements that made Horizon shine as a world are refined, polished, and thrown in your face. Ruins are more than just landmarks this time around, with the significant ones having their own puzzle just waiting to be solved through climbing and platforming and the like. And they're filled with scattered data points that tell you what they used to be through the voices of those long since gone. You won't get bored in the Forbidden West. Number 1, making something taboo just makes it much more enticing, and number 2, the Forbidden West, even without the forbidden bit, has so much more that makes it worth visiting. Way more biomes exist than I counted on, from the frozen tundra to desert to drylands to towering redwood forests and dense jungles and lush greenlands and underwater caverns and beaches and woods. Within these natural wonders are tribes that are more nuanced than they came across in Zero Dawn, with the Utaru being so much more than farmers and the Tenakth so much more than fighters. Before we wrap things up, I'm afraid I do have to mention some problems I had with Forbidden West. A handful of crashes interrupted my time with the game, along with draw distance issues where structures would pop in and out, but I expect they'll be fixed in a day 1 patch and didn't make the game unplayable, thanks to frequent autosaves. I also have to mention Regala again. She's one of the biggest weak points in the game. Regala doesn't have her own questline or arc, meaning you're left with the feeling that she's just a plot device, and honestly, I was left disappointed. In the same vein, in my opinion, Horizon Forbidden West suffers from the problem of having too many villains that they don't always know what to do with. Like I said earlier, I can't really expand on this without spoiling the story, but what I will say is that certain characters are clearly designed to be villains, but aren't given the repeated appearances that justify them as villains and show us why they're so bad. They're just kind of there, in the distance, doing bad things, but those bad things don't really affect Aloy. Horizon Forbidden West is a fantastic game. It's not without its problems, but it's still everything I wanted the sequel to Zero Dawn to be. Combat is deeper and better balanced, Aloy isn't perfect, the controls and UI are streamlined, and the world is rich with culture from the past and present, and life. It's something I urge you to experience for yourself, not only because it's fun as hell, but also because it casts the events of Zero Dawn in a completely different light too. You're not prepared for what's going to happen, trust me. And that's my review of Horizon Forbidden West. What are your thoughts on the game, and do you think you'll get it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, thanks very much, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Eurogamer as we have a new video out every single day. Now I'm going to go and stare wistfully at the new Karja armor because I want it on my body, and also try to take care of this sick voice that I have at the moment. I'll see you next time.